Dear Pixie, you asked us, is a person's physical appearance a reflection of the soul? This is indeed the case, yet is somewhat difficult to explain. A person's physical appearance is biologically determined by their DNA. Their DNA not only contains genetic information from both sets of biological parents, but also contains energy memory from all other previous incarnations, future incarnations, and true origins of the soul. These, therefore, are also reflected in the physical appearance. Why do some souls achieve enlightenment much faster than others? This depends on many factors. Some souls have incarnated here in human form that originally existed in a higher density field. These humans have the ability for profound and accelerated learning leading to enlightenment. Another factor in this will be the individual's ability to wake up and remember who they are in their truest form. Despite many triggers to the cellular memory, there are many humans who do not wake up. True enlightenment is not possible until the waking up process has been achieved and the triggers to cellular memory have been recognized. Other souls get stuck in a state of vibratory stagnation. An acute case of constant fear bombardment, excesses in certain mind-altering substances, or certain addictions can create this vibratory stagnation, causing the individual to repeat behaviors over and over again, attracting the same karma over and over again, with no growth taking place. Enlightenment would not be possible until the individual has broken free of the stagnatory state and has started moving forward in a path of growth again. Paradoxically, the very triggers that lead one into vibratory stagnation can often be the same triggers that awaken cellular memories and thus release the individual into a path of enlightenment. Each being has their own choice to make as to whether they take an enlightened path. Despite help from the higher self aspect, free will is always granted. Do all souls require similar earthly experiences to ascend? The experiences of their physical lives can be vastly different, yet the subjective experiences are similar. Do earthly experiences change the soul, or do souls always remain the same? The answer to this question is both. Earthly experiences create growth and learning, and this changes the frequency of the soul. Yet each soul is identical in the fact that it is an individualized piece of the whole, therefore they always remain the same. Is ascending to a higher dimension only a matter of time for all souls? Would some souls never be able to ascend? As there is no such concept as time in our perception, this question must be answered on more than one level. From our perspective, all souls shall ascend. It is not possible for a soul to never ascend, as there is no concept of never. Yet, from your perspective, bringing forward that which you know as never, we can see that it is possible for a soul to be seen as never ascending. These are the souls that get caught up in a vortex of similarity, going round and round within the same space, never breaking free to join the ever-flowing stream of cosmic life. From the truest perspective, however, everything eventually moves upwards in frequency, travelling home to the one source energy. The reason for this is that each and every being, each and every thought are already with the one source energy, and in reality, they have never left. Would one still possess a sense of touch and retain a similar and solid appearance in a higher dimension? Yes, indeed, in the fourth, fifth, and to a certain extent in the sixth, although That which you know as touch would raise in frequency, as would that which you know as solid. Past the 7th dimension, we cannot see where the words touch or solid would be appropriate. Blending in frequency would not involve touch, and all forms are in full experience of fluidity in 7th density, therefore would not be classed as solid. In a higher dimension, would one still be able to practice hobbies like art and baking? Art is practiced in all dimensions, for art is creative expression. Art is viewed differently in higher dimensions, but it is always part of existence. Baking could be practiced in 4th and 5th density if the entity wished. Yet, in usual cases, there has been no need for baking in those frequencies. Would one be able to create solid objects by thought? This would be difficult in 4th density, but not impossible. Even in 3rd density this has been done. Yet in higher densities this becomes easier. All solid objects are created by thought from higher dimensions. How does one turn from a service to self to a service to others attitude? The likelihood of this depends on the degree of polarization. A 100% polarized service to self being is unlikely to polarize positive until they ascend to 7th density. Yet there have been beings that have done this, although they are rare. A 60% polarized negative being would find it much easier to polarize positive. How one does this is to cease operating from a need for control and power over others and move into service to others. A change from fearing others because they are viewed as separate entities into loving others because they are part of the one would be needed. There are those on your planet now that are moving from the negative polarization into the positive. These are mostly those humans who have had a fairly equal amount of polarization to both polarities. The game of ascension depends on choosing one's polarization. Would I be able to find the people that I love in a higher dimension? If one is speaking of a polarized positive dimension, then the answer would be a resounding yes. For there shall be love in these higher dimensions for all beings, therefore every being will be a person you love. If, however, by this question you mean love to be that special love you have for friends, family and partners, well, the answer to that would also be a definite yes. Why do I feel instant and strong connections in consciousness to some people? These are the individuals from your soul grouping. They vibrate on the same frequency as you, and they embody similar consciousness levels. The stronger this feeling is, the more significant that person is to be in your life. The meeting with that person will have been laid out in your incarnate blueprint, meaning it is destiny or fate that brought you together. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9.